Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing great. I'm Mahbub, a volunteer of School of Entrepreneurship Development, and welcome to our session, Meet the Global Leader, which is organized by School of Entrepreneurship Development. And the objective of this session is to share the story and professional journey of an international professional, so that the audience and who are actually entrepreneurs and university going students from Bangladesh, they can understand how people work and the skills needed for different sector, and how people work and develop skills and use skills in another country, just to give them an idea. And it's like an awareness session for them, so that they can understand that our border is not the limit. There are so many things to explore abroad. So today we have invited Alina, who is working as trust and safety subject matter expert at Accenture. Alina, welcome to our session.
Hi there. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to meet you all.
So how to pronounce? Like, is it Accenture or Accenture?
Accenture. It's
Oh,
Accenture.
Accenture. Okay. Oh,
Yes.
great, great. Good to learn. So, can you share a bit about yourself?
Yes. So to begin with, my story, it's not like striking the story of success. So, like I'm talking to you from the same level, like as all you guys are, where you all are. Um, I never will describe myself that I always knew what I wanted to succeed at, what I would prefer to do in life in general. So I'm Ukrainian. I am 31. I've been living in the US for the past almost 5 years. My story begins, of course, in Ukraine. I'm coming from. I'm sorry. I'm coming from, a really, really small, poor village in Ukraine, and I was lucky due to educational reform in Ukraine to actually get into one of the most prestigious universities in Ukraine. It's a National Aviation University. Um, and it was interesting because back then, when I was just going to join the university, it was 2009. In Ukraine, it was still the most prestigious, the most desired to be economist, to study finances, not yet computer science, not yet programming. So just by having good grades, I could get tuition-free scholarship. The thing is, it wasn't, of course, like conscious. I knew that I was good in philology, grammar, Russian, Ukrainian. I honestly didn't really know what am I gonna do in life and how can I make money out what I actually know how to do, right? Like, how can I make money having good grammar in Ukrainian and Russian? It was like, nonsense. So anyway, going through experience being at the university, of course, it was fun. It was a fun student life. But the educational system itself wasn't not even close to be perfect, of course. So um, studying there, I wasn't feeling like I'm in the right place. I had no idea what my profession is gonna look like because, of course, like there was like no up-to-date, relevant knowledge given to us. So with that being said, graduating as a bachelor in 2013, I was completely lost and completely unconfident. Like, gosh, like, so I have the diploma, right? And it's, technical education. It's cool. It was already like striking, like everybody, some of my friends, people that I will know, they will already be working for big corporates, making good money out of being a web developer or so. And I wouldn't call myself even like close to that, like web developer. I'm just one with bachelor degree, with the diploma, but what am I gonna do? Another thing, being a student, I was working basically like performing simple labor jobs. That was my big mistake, and that's something that I do not recommend much to get into, because of course, it takes so much time from you, so much strength. You become comfortable making money in a simple way. Like, I was a cashier, I was a waitress, and physically and emotionally, that job is, of course, like sucking all the energy out of you. And you find yourself, if you work for a couple of years there, you find yourself really desperate, really frustrated about life overall, because, there's people working with you who are 30, 40 years older than you, and they're in that reality. But even performing such jobs, being a student still was helpful for me, because it helped me to develop, really strong work ethic, being there on time, being respectful, handling some situation with customers. So despite all of the harm that was done to, my mental health, it still worked good for me. And at the end, of course, I was graduating, I was getting my diploma, and I was thinking, okay, what do I do next? I know, I can't apply for I don't know, web developer position, because I don't actually carry that knowledge with me. So I started just looking up what's on market, what is needed back then in Ukraine. And I discovered such professions that I never knew actually existed. So it was copywriter, content manager, nothing fancy, right? But that's where I could actually use my grammar, some writing skills. So I was hired for my first, let's say, good job as a copywriter / content manager at online deals website. So, those sites where you buy coupons and you go to some businesses and get some discount there. And of course, for me, it was a huge jump from working waitress / cashier for 3-4 years, being a student, and now getting an office job. Of course, it was something I don't know, to me, it was huge jump in an evolution. Apart from that, as I was told back then, that they hired me just because I had 2 years straight employment as a cashier. So basically, that I was too young to get that job. There was really high competition. There was much more experienced people who actually, been working for newspapers or some magazines. So they actually were copywriters, while I wasn't before. So only that I had already some proven experience that I can be consistent, work somewhere for a solid period of time, that actually helped me to get the job. And the problem was, of course, I was excited, and for some time it was come on, decent money, for my country. However, I reached this ceiling, because within the organization there was no way to grow any further. So I decided, well, it's time to move on. Again, it was the same frustration, what can I do? So I decided to take a couple of months break from job, and I've been looking again, what is it that I can be good at that I don't know yet, but I might learn. So it was I discovered raising necessity on the market for SEOs, is search engine optimizers. So it's web content optimization. Again, there I could apply my grammar skills, learn something new, apply some technical knowledge from the university times. And actually it was, of course, interesting experience just to try to get into new industry. It's the hardest, I believe, for new graduates to get into something where you're complete zero, you're complete brand new. And the thing I was really proud back then about myself, that I even rejected a couple of jobs, even though it was like huge online portals hiring me. But the experience of toxic working culture during the interviews, that's what made me to reject it, because I was thinking, okay, if people are behaving towards me like that on the job interview, where we both sell each other, to each other, probably I don't want to work there. One time it was like really interesting experience, because I did like test exercise for them, and they were like checking for it in front of me, and they said, well, congratulations, you have brain. So you guys avoid such work environment, such companies with such toxic corporate culture, because that's a huge indication. Most likely you're going to hate your job, of course, and you're not going to excel there. So at the end, I got the job as junior SEO at a small web studio. I was part of website development team, but my part was mostly about content planning, textual content optimizations for websites. But apart from that, because it was like pretty much small company, I could see how websites are being developed from the scratch. So I could see like how web designers are working, how are we planning the structure of the website, how we optimize it. It was really interesting to even like look from a side. Probably that gave me more confidence that I can do more things, I can be good at something even more. But again, like as like every woman, I guess we face more challenges being young. Of course, I got married. I went for maternity leave, and that's something that once again made me think that I can do nothing. I can't be good at anything. Like staying with your child even for a year or two, it makes you feel like you're so much behind the times. You are not aware of the technologies. You lost all your skills. So here I am today. I can tell you guys that shouldn't stop you being a parent. It might bring, of course, like some pause in your development, professional development, but we always can rise after a huge pause in anything, and we can become even better than we were before. It gives us more benefits because we've handled such heavy stuff in our life. So as of today, I'm working in the US already for almost 4 years. I moved here almost 5 years ago, and comparing to my ex-spouse, I actually had experience looking for a job for the first time in the US. It was really challenging, as you can imagine, because my English was any good. I couldn't totally communicate anyhow when I just got here. Also, I already had a gap in my career due to maternity leave, and also zero experience being employed in the US. So of course, that took time. I was looking for a job, I guess, for 5 or 6 months, and it was really frustrating because I wouldn't be even invited to the interviews. Again, you're being professional in something in your country. You come here and you need to, again, like sell yourself to convince the employees that you are worth to hire you with zero experience of
Yeah, and
work.
also from another country, like you compete with their local uh, citizens.
Yes, and that's what, like main thing, that's what we think about. Like there's local competitors, people who speak English all their life, they're university graduates. Oh my goodness, who's gonna hire me, right? But I can prove, I can convince you guys that people who are being born here, who graduated from universities here, from colleges, high schools, they're having the same thoughts. They don't, not many of them, not all of them actually know that they can leverage on that they have there uh, some advantages, of course, comparing to people coming from other countries. But actually, it's all about how you can represent yourself, and actually how you actually dare to apply, dare to go to interviews, not be ashamed of your accent, and actually knowing like, okay, I might not know something, but I will learn. I know myself that I've been through so many things, and I can excel here. So yeah, finally I got the job. It was content review agent. That's how it was called back then. So it's basically content moderation, right? And again, I think I was lucky back then because it wasn't, it was frightening, intimidating for people to go for such position, because in the job description, it's always listed that you might review sensitive content, all kind of violence and stuff. So of course, I believe that 4 years ago, people would be still hesitating if they should get into this, but again, like what I actually got. I got lucky, I think, because I never really worked with highly sensitive, highly violent content. I mostly been working with child safety related content, and actually, like the job helped me, of course, develop my English skills, my communication skills, and 2 years later, I was promoted to subject matter expert. Basically, who I am now is I am a coach. So I know the policy guidelines very well. I help other people to understand them. I help with some policy related, content related questions. Also participating in policy enforcement with the client. So it's interesting. I'm excited. I love my job. I think that's where I actually discovered unpredictably my actual talents, because many people can say, okay, I'm dancing good, I'm singing good, I'm having this skill or that skill, and I never could describe myself on what is my talent, because it's not something on the surface that you can discover. I'm one of those people who couldn't for so long. And now I know that it's actually communication. I can actually make people trust me, and it's really powerful. So I really recommend everybody, I guess, to discover your talents, like on the way. Don't really overthink it too much. If you don't know yet just what you are good at, just try different things. Yeah, that's shortly or too long speaking about
No, it's
me.
I was just I was listening very attentively, because like it's so amazing the way you have portrayed it. It's really amazing. I mean, the way you end it. Uh, the fact is, it is very important that whatever it is, it's in our personal life and professional life. Uh, people, we have to like we have to transfer trust among them. Like if it is a company, even if they are going to hire us, they have to trust us as a good person, that this potential employee or candidate is going to be an asset to us, like he or she is not going to harm our like brand image, or like our culture or our company in any way. It's very important. It's not easy. Maybe it sounds easy when you say it, uh, people trust you, or organization that trust you. It's not easy. It takes a huge amount of time and habit, and like investment after maybe you that made you that person you are right now. And it is also not that easy, that like coming from another country and settling in a different country where there's huge competition. Like people from so many countries go there, and there are so many competitions. And if you have made your place there, like we are working. So the point is, like this is very inspiring. I mean, like, and the way you keep trying different things, and
Yeah.
yeah, it sound also not good that, like, uh, sometimes students, they don't know their worth. That's how they choose. Oh, I just need a job. Just think about that, and it is going to kill them, kill their confidence, kill their mentality. And maybe they want, if they could explore another sector, the like, according to their passion, they're passionate about. Uh, Maybe they would go a far way or better way. This is the point that, like, but the way you turned your experience, that as a cashier, you mentioned, and other experience, that you learn different things. You put, like, you took positive things out of that, your experiences. And this is also important, like, we have to have some struggle, uh, so that we can learn a lot through this. So you had this experience, and the way you used that experience in a better way, like, to find a better option. It's really, really amazing. And before going to, like, another journey of yours, I would like to we would like to know a little bit about, you also did your a postgraduate program in data science and business analytics, right?
Yes.
Can you share why did you do that, and what did you learn out of that, and how you're using that, like, learnings in your professional life, and why it is so important right now and for future to, like, learn data science and business analytics.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, like when I got my job, then I got promoted. It didn't take away this imposter syndrome, I guess I can call it, when you feel still like, okay, I have stable job, let's say, I got promoted, I already achieved something, I can just chill, like I can relax and live my life. But the thing is, like, I guess I always have this feeling inside, like, okay, what's next? Where else can I go? What should I learn? Of course, like we especially like nowadays, with all of these technology expand, right? It's expanding like a universe, like all directions. If before you wanted to stay up to date like 10, 15 years ago, right? You go, okay, I want to be web developer, I want to learn this language and this language, programming language, and I might get a good job, right? But each year the technology feel like expand so many ways that we are feeling hectic. Where should I start from? Where should I go to? So of course, also coronavirus times, I could feel that it wasn't the most productive for me, speaking of self-development, because I was trying to learn something on online portals, like Coursera, Skillshare is good, by the way. Coursera, I didn't like much that experience, and I didn't know back then that it probably, even like this frustration that it brings to me, it's due to me not using right resources to expand my education. So since like such platforms like Coursera, you get there some course, let's say, or a boot camp, right? You pay some not so big money, well, comparable, right, to actually going in person in class. But the fact that those courses are certified doesn't make them actually bring in much knowledge. That's what I can say. Speaking of my own experience, of course, passing courses like that online, it might help. It might get you even more frustrated because you feel, okay, I spent my time, but I don't feel that I actually got, real knowledge into something. There are some practice exercises, but they're not really challenging, or they're too challenging. I have no idea like where to start. So that's the thing. Also, apart from that, I guess, like, just like to mention it, 2022, the war started in Ukraine, and of course I was feeling about worrying about my family all the time. So that year completely taken away my progress, my development in career. So I was just coming to work, right, and living my second life of thoughts, like how my family is doing in Ukraine right now, being under attacks and everything. So beginning of 2023 actually was significant for me because I got tired of this feeling of being frustrated, being emotionally exhausted, and not taking an action. I was like, okay, this year it's gonna be different. I'm gonna accept that situation in the world is horrible, yes, but I'm gonna be better version of myself every day. So it's gonna probably sound funny, but I started going consistently to gym, and going consistently to gym taken away all this pressure, emotional, physical, and my brain started magically work differently. Like I could feel like this inspiration. Okay, now I can be physically productive. Maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can get into something I always wanted to get. So then I started again like my research to probably attend some classes developed by, universities, some actual business schools, because like I said, like learning online is fine, using those platforms, but it just doesn't give you that confidence. Unfortunately, I'm speaking of myself. So I found this data science course because I've been always looking that way, data analytics, data science. I wouldn't like dare to call myself data analyst just yet. And I was like, what the heck, maybe I can try. Who knows? And I passed the like interview. I mean, like still like you're paying for your education, but you need to have like small fraction of some relevant experience. Like you need to understand what you are getting into. And what is amazing about being part of Macom's business school is that they have developed like awesome educational material. I don't know, comparing to everything that I had in my life before, this is something, I don't know, at another level, because there is pre-work program. So if you haven't been coding before, right? Like you haven't had much experience with programming, or you had, but long time ago, they have pre-work sessions where you learn basics of Python in this case. Then when the modules start, like it's completely online. I'm not going in person. I'm not attending college in person, right? But the lectures made that developed that way that you're being left with no questions after all. Like I never had this experience when professor in the university coming in class and explaining us like, so guys, this is it. I'll explain you like really simple, like talking to you from the same level, right? And that's when you get this experience here. Like actually they're talking to you and they're explaining 10 times. And it's so awesome. Like, this is numeric Python, NumPy. So again, guys, this is NumPy. It's a numeric Python, such things that you feel like, oh, thank you for saying that for me. Or like this line executes this. This line means this. And I honestly, I was actually like going through the program. I'm still going through it. And I've discovered, oh, so I actually like math. I actually know math, apparently. So, comparing myself graduating 10 years ago, and I'm thinking, I have no idea what is what. Like, I am so not smart. I'm all the opposite to it. And now, since like you get to the right resource of education, you're being treated with respect to your knowledge or lack of knowledge. Of course, like it brings so much inspiration when you understand, so I can be good at it. Maybe not just yet, but one day, Also really good that we are given the opportunity to perform actual projects with actual close to real world data. So I already finished with 3 projects. First was Python foundations, then business statistics, and now we started with machine learning, supervised learning. And I know like it might sound just scary, and it was sounding scary for me, but actually going through the program and actually like doing on my own these projects, spending some, of course, weeks, nights, time on that, but yeah, I'm gaining this confidence. Okay, I actually can look at the data. I know how to treat data. I can probably, the only thing I'm lacking of is experience. Like, I know I shouldn't be expecting from myself to be experienced data scientist trying to get junior data scientist job. That's the thing. That's something that we always hesitate to, apply for positions, go for something that is challenging, because looking at the job description, you can see that, okay, I'm qualifying for probably 15% of that what they are listing, nobody's going to hire me. But you don't know your competitors, or you don't know your competitors' personal skills, because personal culture is what make you actually desired professional. You might be knowledgeable at whatever, but if you're not a team player, most likely, you will not be hired, or you will not last long. Yeah.
Devon. And the thing is, the thing that you mentioned, you take it, it's so fun loving to you. When the course, it's true that most of the time, maybe, yeah, you find it interesting. So most of the time, the fact is, uh, it may be an ice breaking stuff, like for the students. If they just explore about a course online they like about, if they find it interesting, then they can go for, like doing, go for universities to do it in person. So the thing is, it's very important that the way you find it. Yes, there are so many wonderful courses they can learn. The thing that you mentioned, it seems so, like learning and joyful to you, that you're learning a lot from it, rather than being in university. So yeah, it also happens. So the thing is, it's up to the student that how, like they are taking it positively, seriously, or just they're taking it like. So it's very important. But it's so good to see, like the way you put it and mentioned it. It seems, through expression, it seems really well that you're learning and you're doing things and you're enjoying it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter now, because we are living in this world right now. That we have learning opportunities everywhere.
Yes.
Like so it's up to us how we choose to learn. And the thing is, if anyone is a constant learner, he or she will find ways to take in, like learning or lessons from different tools, different places, online, offline. So it's really interesting. And the thing that you can you also, a very interesting fact, because here in Bangladesh, like uh, very like percentage is very lower, that people who knows coding, uh, very familiar with Python. So many students, they know about Python. They heard the name Python, but like, can you share in which how students, but how anyone can use Python? What are the tasks anyone can do using Python, especially if you can relate for business students who are studying, like bachelor in business administration or MBA, how learning Python can help them, like in doing some professional tasks.
So, of course, like, Python is really, to begin with, like, is simpler to begin with to learn. But what I've been dealing with so far, it's good for your data visualization. If you have some data set, right, you need to look at it, and numbers itself, of course, you can group it, you can work on Excel, right, to do some pivot tables to see some trends arising. But yeah, Python is really powerful in terms of data visualization. Also, speaking of all these business needs like uh, data analysis, some predictions, right? Python basically do the job for you. You just need to know what to ask it for, right? Like I have some data for my organization. We want to predict like prices for whatever, and that's basically like Python is handy for that. You can use some business statistics knowledge, but the libraries that exist already there that are coming with the Python do the hard work for you. You just need to know what to look for, right? Like if you understand the business need, Python will take all the technical part doing it for you, of course, like if you ask it for. So that's really powerful. So far, that's what I learned. And yeah, like as now the third module in the data science project is machine learning, supervised learning, which is comparing to machine learning itself. You have the desired target, right? Looking at the data. If machine learning is just like, you can throw at it like bunch of whatever data you have, and it give you some insights, no matter what, like it will give you even some insights that you are not expecting to see from your data, right? Then supervised learning is when you have some particular needs, either to predict like layoffs, right? To predict salaries or prices changing. Like it's really handy for such things. Actually, I'm like really excited, like to get to do something like this with a real company. So far it's been like only
Yeah.
practicing, but I can assure whatever you guys have been dealing with so far, okay, even like I said, like if you've been working in retail, that's fine. One day you can be data analyst or data scientist, and if you know the industry, because you've been working like there, from inside how things work, you can apply it. I believe that the best professionals, data scientists, data analysts, are those who actually have some knowledge of different industries. Like as of right now, for example, I'm thinking I never been interested in finances, in investigations of like some financial frauds or something like that. But now I'm thinking just that will be interesting to get to know, get to learn. So I will be like having some experience that I can apply for something else one day. So no matter what you've been dealing with, like website development, you've been health worker, whatever job or whatever subject you graduated with, actually it will help occasionally. Just like even having the imagination how real world work, right? How like for example, like cell phones or laptops, you kind of have the imagination what those features are. Why are you paying more for some laptop or cell phone, right? One day you can apply that knowledge looking at some data and making crucial business decisions. It's amazing, and it's as simple as that, but it can make literally a huge change for whatever corporation you're gonna work for, or maybe creating your own business. That's also another way.
Yeah,
Good way.
wonderful. A nice way to put, like so wonderful. Uh, we are, almost about to end our session with maximum 10 minutes left. So, just two more questions. Uh, First one is, what is, like, if you can summarize tasks you have to do as a trust and safety subject matter expert, and because this is a very it's like this position has no existence in Bangladesh. So it would be good to know about this position, the task you do,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, if you can, like overall from your experience, you have shared a lot. Some suggestion, like whoever is going to watch it, maybe from Bangladesh or any place, For students, if you suggest or advise some skills they should develop, before graduation by being a
Mhm.
student,
Mhm.
so that like they can explore professional sector after their graduation. Sometimes like here in Bangladesh, if students or graduates, they don't have certain skills, it takes time to get into the professional sector. So because most of them during university life, they spend their time into unproductive activities.
Mhm.
So these are the two things. So if for suggestion for also anyone from anywhere who is uh, going to listen it, uh, they can understand that these skills, if they develop it, they can start their career early.
Yeah, just to summarize, content review, trust and safety jobs. That's something like actually in need. Probably now it's gonna be like more automated because like you understand like since content moderation industry like has been there already for years, uh, they also use AI to kind of automate the process to make the machines right like make decisions. Of course, still. Machines cannot make those crucial decisions that human can do because there's like so much ambiguity of whatever like you're looking at, whatever you need to moderate. So such companies like Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they all need game industry. They all need content moderators for different reasons, and particular safety, of course, like child safety. That's one thing, like minors being like in live streams or whatever, sharing their personal data and overall user experience, right? Like for the any online experience out there to be safe for the users. So that's something you guys can look at as entry level, right? Like just to get closer to technologies. Jobs, however, like I do not recommend staying for long, just like relying that, oh, okay, I'm already somewhere around the technologies. I can stay here and be there forever. Of course, one day it's not going to be needed, or one day it's going to change drastically that there will be needed much less people. So overall, what is like critical to have for to perform such roles is to have critical thinking. Like I said, like you need to have imagination of how the real world works, how the things are, but you also need to learn to not rely on your own experience, your own knowledge. You need to rely on policy. So whatever company you're working for, there will be policy. And of course, policy doesn't cover all the scope of cases that you might work with. So that's when you're enforcing policy. You're saying, okay, you're delivering either to your leadership or to the client that you work with. We have a gap in the policy because here we have rising trends of this and this and this, and we do not know how to treat such cases. So overall job is really interesting. It might be boring. It might be boring if you look at it that way. Like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
just performing something, I'm just following the rules. But if you're actually enforcing the policy, right? If you're actually trying to improve things, improve overall the not only policies, but the way the company works, right? If you see solutions that make it cheaper, faster, better, that's when you actually develop as a professional. Um, so with that being said, jump into what I suggest to get better at and to try to develop, speaking of skills while being a student, is communications. Any kind of communications, because like people with nowadays world specifically were getting so uncomfortable to even keep up with 3 seconds eye contact, right? To talk to strangers, to go to interviews. It takes so much, like it feels for our bodies like it's life threatening. I'm in danger. I don't want to go and live uncomfortable experience, but there to try to talk to strangers, to talk to your professors, to meet new students, to develop your communications. That's something that you will need everywhere. Second, build your self brand already. Like have your LinkedIn profile handy. Try to volunteer somewhere, like try to get some internship in some big corporate, whatever you're going to do after graduating. Either you want to start with your own business or you want to be an entrepreneur inside some big company. It's okay. It is also another good way. You need to develop your personal brand. So, hence, like if you finish some course or educational program, don't just like collect those certificates/diplomas. Tell the world about it, like what you learned, what was inspiring. I'm sorry, because I can see people like collecting. Okay, I just finished this course. I finished this course, and I finished this course. And I mean, it's cool. You did a great job, but what did you actually learn? Like, was that experience like actually helpful for you? So get the world to know that you are functional, productive, that you're self-developing. So whenever you graduate from whatever college, university, you can already show something. Okay, I've been volunteering, I've been working as intern for this company. So of course it's going to help because you already have your name. Some people from this world already know that you are doing something. And the last that I will point out is develop trust to yourself and strong work ethic. If you pay for some course, try to finish it, even if it's imperfect. Even like you're not gonna be doing that for money in your life, and you probably did mistake joining. If you tend to not finish things, to not come to the end, to not make them not see the end of the thing that you committed to, you lose trust to yourself. And if you don't have trust to yourself, your employees will not have trust as well. That's the thing. You need to have strong work ethic and strong self ethic. Like if you have those small anatomic habits, like waking up early, I'm going and do sports, I'm actually like reading books, or I'm studying like at least like 3 months out of 1 year. If you set up such small things and you actually being consistent, of course you're gonna excel in anything. That's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. There's a being a ethical person, honest and respectful to others is really important. And like the thing that you mentioned, learn something new. Like the thing is, every 1 or 2 years, maybe now it is less. Uh, so many new things are coming. So many updated versions are coming. So like professionals, students, they should also update themselves with like this new environment and changed environment. This is very important. For that, the thing that you mentioned, develop building atomic habit, learn something new, study. This is very important. Like the thing that all through the journey you have shared of yours is really inspiring and amazing. That from one country you are now settling in another country, you are exploring new things, exploring your career. And this is something like very unique and very interesting to know. And for the audience of Bangladesh, I hope that who are listening and going to listen later, it is going to be very insightful session for them. Like you know The boundary is not limited. We can think, like beyond our boundary. We can, like there are some common transferable skills they can develop, so that they can fit in any place in this world. So that is the most insightful part to me and for our audience, I believe they have learned. So, Alina, thank you for this session and your journey, sharing your journey. Uh, it's amazing, and on behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, I would like to say best wishes and best of luck for your future endeavors, and keep in touch.
Happy to share with you guys, and thanks for having me. It was really cool experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Bye bye.